voice of the voiceless.
It is essential to be up to date on happenings around you, and to make that easy for you, ladies and gentlemen, we present Freshlight, where we bring fresh newspaper headlines to the limelight. Mondays to Saturdays, 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Watch, like, subscribe, and make sure your notification is activated on our YouTube channel. You can also like and comment on our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. It's another beautiful Monday morning, the 24th day in the month of July 2023. Of course, it's the penultimate Monday for the month of July 2023. I'm sure and I hope that you had a restful weekend. Of course, we all know that it's the raining season, and so always remind ourselves to keep yourself warm every time, every moment. And of course, right here, we care about you. Of course, always watching us on every of our social media platforms: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Welcome to a fresh episode, the first edition for the week. This morning on Freshlight on Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. This is where we'll take you through different stories, keep you updated while you're already at work or you're preparing to go to work. We've taken it upon ourselves to just keep you abreast and, of course, updated on different happenings in the country and even outside the country this morning. So welcome to Freshlight. My name is Modupe, Akinyosoye. With me, I have a couple of newspapers, as usual, which we will be perusing this morning: the Vanguard newspaper, the Nation newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Punch newspaper this morning. And of course, without further ado, let's kickstart news, the review this morning. We'll start with Daily Trust, and let's see a couple of stories on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. You get to see the largest headline here from the front page of Daily Trust to date on the 4th of July. Amid shrinking reserves, concerns mount over Tinubu's directives on grains. You get that with a couple of riders, multiple riders. Strategic reserves dropped to 150,000 tons, that's from sources. 24.8 million Nigerians risk acute hunger. WFP FAO reports. And also from the riders, CBN releases grain, says distribution begins today. And the last rider here says 5,000 trucks needed. You get the details of that on page 4 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Also from the front page of the Daily Trust, you see reverse chaotic subsidy policy. You get that on page 17 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Away from that, you also have this headline: Sanwo-Olu approves 61 million naira for burial of 103 #EndSARS victims. You also get that on page 7 in the Daily Trust newspaper. From the front page as well, you get Davido under fire over offensive video against Islam. You get that on page 18 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Kano loses 2 ex-commissioners in 3 days. You also get it on page 18 in the Daily Trust newspaper. Ogun students beat teacher who stopped exam malpractice. You get that Metro story on page 20 in the Daily Trust newspaper. And quickly perusing the Daily Trust newspaper to give you a couple of stories from the Daily Trust. Okay, we'll start with this very story right here with the headline: Improved internal security to determine reopening of land borders, says Customs. The acting Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, said the federal government will only reopen all the land borders when the nation's internal security improves. Adeniyi, who spoke at the semi-border in Badagry during a meeting with the business community, said the full reopening of the borders depends on the readiness of the local communities to cooperate with the customs and other security agencies in combating insecurity, and smuggling. And he said all the security agencies need intelligence from the communities on the activities of smugglers of arms and ammunition, and to assist security agents to properly secure the border areas against illicit importations. You get the rest of that in the Daily Trust newspaper. Improved internal security to determine reopening of land borders, says Custom. Also from the Daily Trust, the Daily Trust newspaper, we have a subsidy removal. Tinubu supporters call for patience and understanding. The supporters of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, under the auspices of Southwest Agenda for Ashiwaju, have appealed to Nigerians to remain calm amid the hardship occasioned by the removal of fuel subsidy. The national chairman of the group, Senator Adedayo Adeyeye, made the appeal in a statement he personally signed and made available to journalists in Abuja on Sunday, and explained that the hardship was much because the decision taken by the president should have been carried out by successive administrations in the last 15 years. The rest of that from the Daily Trust. Subsidy removal. Tinubu supporters call for patience and understanding. Away from that to this entertainment news right here, saying Davido deletes offensive music video after backlash. Nigeria music star David Adeleke, fondly known as Davido, has deleted the much controversial music video of his signee after facing intense backlash online. On Saturday, Davido came under fire from many Muslims on social media for posting a 45-second trailer clip of his upcoming musical video on Twitter. And the video, which many Muslim commentators described as offensive, showed a group of men dressed for and ostensibly in a Muslim prayer session suddenly turned to dancing and singing. And he accused the singer of disrespecting Islam by mixing their religion rites and rituals with song and dance. And they also called on him to delete the video and apologize. Notable Nigerian celebrities such as Bashir Ahmed and Ali Nuhu were particularly vocal about it. The rest of that, you get more details in the Daily Trust newspaper with the headline, Davido deletes offensive music video after backlash. Away from the Daily Trust, so let's go through the front page of the Punch newspaper. Going through the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, we get to see workers kick as governors borrowed 2.2 trillion naira from banks. With double riders, governors borrowing spree as left states poorer pensions and workers lament. Government must avoid short-term borrowing that may harm state finances. Don't warn. You get that on page 2 in the Punch newspaper. Away from that, also from the Punch newspaper, Senate gears up for ministerial screening and wait list this week. You get that on page 13 in the Punch newspaper. Also from the front page, dollar now 876 naira as forex shortage worsened. That very sensitive story headline. You get the details on page 26 in the Punch newspaper. Ganduje intensifies lobby as North Central APC demands chairmanship slot. Page 14 captures the details of that very story. Also from the front page of the Punch newspaper, hashtag EndSARS, 103 recovered bodies not Lekki tollgate victims, says Lagos. Page 16 captures that. NDLEA seizes 3.7 billion naira tramadol at Lagos airport. Page 4 captures the metro story. Ogu begins probe as 8 die after alcohol bout. You get that as well, that rather sad one on page 5 in the Punch newspaper. You also get to see a large picture in front of the front page, or on the front page of the Punch newspaper, and you get to see Lagbaja, the combat general, the Chief of Army Staff, Major General Tawhid Lagbaja, during his inauguration of operations to tackle herders farmers clashes in Mangu, local government area of Plateau State on Saturday. All right, going through the Punch newspaper this morning, we'll start with this very story that has this headline on workers kicking. Workers kick as governors borrow 2.2 trillion naira from banks. With double riders, governor's borrowing spree has left state poorer and pensions workers lament. The government must avoid short-term borrowing that may harm state finances. Don't want. Amid worsening revenue challenges, state government indebtedness to commercial banks has risen to 2.2 trillion naira. Findings by the Punch have shown. And the latest data from the quarterly statistical bulletin of the Central Bank of Nigeria obtained by a correspondent of the Punch show that state and local government areas owned banks about 2.21 trillion naira as of March 2023. The CBN data also revealed the state indebtedness rose from 1.97 trillion naira to the current figure, indicating an increase of about 240 billion naira within the period under review. Workers kick as governors borrow 2.2 trillion naira from banks, the Punch newspaper captured. Away from that, you also get to see update on the hashtag #EndSARS right here. 103 recovered bodies, not Lekki target victims, says Lagos. The Lagos state government has approved mass burial for 103 corpses recovered in the wake of the October 2020 hashtag #EndSARS protest demanding the disbandment of the defunct Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The government, however, stressed that 103 corpses were not recovered from the Lekki toll gate. And the Punch reports that the protracted nationwide hashtag #EndSARS protest occasioned violence with the loss of lives in Lagos, which was the epicenter of the protest. And of note was the alleged killing of protesters at the Lekki toll gate by soldiers on the night of October 2020, with the state setting up a commission of inquiry to probe the allegation. From the Punch newspaper, hashtag #EndSARS, 103 recovered bodies, not Lekki tollgate victims, says Lagos. Quickly, before we round it up this morning with the Freshlight, let's go through the Vanguard newspaper this morning. From the front page of the Vanguard newspaper, you get to see Tinubu hugs deadline, replaces 4 names on ministerial list with double riders. Page 5 captures the details of that. Also, you get to see on school fees increase. Don't snuff life out of us. Parents beg Tinubu. Page 9 also captured the details. Also from the front page, Adobayero from Daughter's Lens. Okay, that on Art and Views. Page 4 captures that. Lagos clarifies purported planned mass burial for hashtag #EndSARS victims. That's also resurfacing on the front page of the Vanguard. And page 6 captures the details. Despite huge demand for Nigeria's produce, cargo aircraft still leave empty. Page 25 has the details of that. Also from the front page, on cash crunch, artisans now go into collabo to survive. Page 7 captures that very story. World Bank and states build national social register. Sources revealing that on page 27 in the Vanguard. On APC crisis, from the front page, Adamu's greatest sin was trying to impose Lawan as presidential candidate. Vice chair revealing that on page 9 in the Vanguard newspaper. On forex crisis as well, from the front page, insurers struggle to grow income from imports. You also get that in the Vanguard newspaper. And from the a sport headline on the front page, WWC will push for maximum points against Australia. Ireland, Ajibade revealing that on page 37 in the Vanguard newspaper. Over 1 billion people risk hunger globally. World Bank revealing that on page 8 in the Vanguard newspaper. And of course, you get to see the picture, a big picture of the president, Tinubu, Ganduje, and Al-Makura on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. All right, giving you a couple of news from the Vanguard. Let's see. Okay, Tinubu hugs deadline. Replaces 4 names on ministerial lists. About 4 days to the expiration of a 60-day provision for the president to submit names of ministerial nominees to the Senate for screening and confirmation. President Bola Tinubu is here to fulfill this constitutional provision. Recall that President Tinubu took the oath of office on May 29 when former President Muhammadu Buhari handed over the mantle of leadership to him. And multiple sources in the Senate told Vanguard at the weekend that the upper legislative chamber is yet to receive the final list of the ministerial nominees. And sources at the presidential last week hinted that the list was ready, but that a few adjustments were being made by the president. Tinubu urg's deadline replaces 4 names on ministerial list. You get that in the Vanguard newspaper. And okay, also picking this very one from the sport pages of the Vanguard newspaper. 2023 Women World Cup. Okonjo-Iweala backs Super Falcons to beat Australia. Director General World Trade Organization Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala thrown her weight behind the Super Falcons to go all out for victory against Australia. And the Super Falcons will take on the co-host in their second group game at the 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup on Thursday at the Brisbane Stadium. And Randy Wardrum's side played out a goalless draw against Canada in the first opening fixture. And the Matildas, on the other hand, managed to secure a 1-0 victory against the Republic of Ireland. And taking to social media to celebrate the Super Falcons after their impressive draw against Canada, Okonjo-Iweala charged the players to do more against Australia. 2023 Women World Cup. Okonjo-Iweala backs Super Falcons to beat Australia. The Vanguard newspaper captured that from the sport page, and of course wishing the Super Falcons victory over Australia. And that'll be all on Freshlight this beautiful morning on Al-IyamoyeTv and radio. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Al-IyamoyeTV radio. And of course, follow us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Al-IyamoyeTV and radio. Thank you so much. Of course, we still have lots of programs lined up for you to enjoy today. I remain Modupe Akinyosoye. Good morning.